fucking trade.
But that's not a disputed claim. We could pull up the U.S. like
This is not a
where the
disputed
money gets
claim.
allocated
This
in
is not a
California.
disputed
All
claim.
right, talk to
Like,
Kraut
sure.
for a second. I'm going to pull it up
Sure,
for you.
sure.
Go ahead, Kraut. Good to see you. I only got a half hour. Talk to Kraut.
All right.
I'm going to pull up the evidence. What's up,
Okay,
brother?
what's up, Dragon Fist? What's up,
You're
Warren?
You're patriotic. Patriot. That's what it's called.
So you can hear me okay, right, Warren?
Yeah, I can hear you well.
All right, cool. So unfortunately, I've only been back for like a couple minutes now. I stepped away for like 5 or 10 minutes. So I don't know your entire argument with this. So I'll just say a couple things when it comes to foreign aid, and then if you want to dispute that or show me that I'm wrong, go ahead. So my main reason with foreign aid is most of the time it is a funneling scheme to for the politicians to line their money. But even if that's not the case, it can also create a deficit because money is going overseas and it's not guaranteed that money is going to come back in America. If you know how a deficit works. Now, I'll say one more thing, and then I'll give you a chance to argue the two things I said. I'm all for helping America first, and then when we get back on our feet, helping overseas. I think this mentioned something about money left over. Now, how we can help America out that can actually help the economy out in general is having some of our taxes, instead of going overseas, going to like a building structure for the homeless vets so they can get off the streets, go live inside the building, take a shower, get a night's rest, and then they're presentable to look for a job, whether that's flipping burgers or putting asphalt on a road. And then they generate money from getting those jobs, from being in those houses that our taxes paid for. That's just one example I try to come off the top of my head, where like a fraud, like there's frauds in America from like money laundering or money funneling, like how Newsom tried to get California taxpayers money to buy several $1 million worth of diapers through taxpayers, and that's clearly a money fraud, and that doesn't help the economy out in the long run.
How do we know that it's, sorry to like nitpick like one thing, but how do we know that this specific thing is a fraud? Diapers sound like exactly something that like you would do to give to the people, because like not having diapers and being poor and having kids is like nightmare, probably, right? I don't have kids, but it probably is.
Right. So that's not 100% proven, but it is pretty well accepted. I'm pretty sure his wife actually is the one that came up with that idea. Now, I should read up about it, but somebody told me they actually got busted and didn't.
Yeah, but like you're saying, sorry. Yeah, sure.
Let's go back to foreign aid versus domestic aid. Like I gave an example on, I'm all for my taxes going domestically to like build an apartment to let homeless vets in so they can have a good night's sleep, take a shower, be presentable to get a job, and then they're a product of society, they're generating money, and overall it helps the economy out. So like I think that's a very good example, domestic aid versus foreign aid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure, I understand. So you're for like right now, without like if we count like the debt to like a GDP ratio for America is pretty high, you would be fine right now for like the Republicans or the Democrats voting on a bill that would maybe allocate like 10 to 20, is probably already some amount, but let's say like $30 billion yearly for like homelessness, or like let's say 15 billion, or like just increase it right now in the situation that you're in, if you as you cut US aid basically. So you would.
Well, I wouldn't say homeless as an entirely. I was just giving an example. There are some homeless people out there that are mentally ill, or they just don't want to work, and they're just content with being homeless and bumming money or cigarettes or food off of people. I'm talking about legit people down on their luck. They lived with a crummy family. They kicked them out, and they had no resources. Because who's going to hire a bum off the streets? You legit got bums out there, whether they're veterans or, they were in a crappy situations that want to work, but they're homeless. So they look raggedy. They don't have clothes. They haven't showered, and, they look like they're on drugs because they haven't had a good night's sleep for days. And anybody that works all the time, you can look like a drug addict if you haven't slept for 2 or 3 days. Your eyes are baggy and everything. So I'm not saying get all homeless people off the streets. That's a different conversation altogether with opening up the insane asylums. But for people that generally want to work,
Sure.
that, and again, that's just an example I thought off the top of my head. Again, I stepped away for 10 minutes, so I can't really argue what you were saying because I don't want to straw man.
Yeah, I don't know what we're exactly arguing about because I 100% agree. I think you can see in Europe basically a lot of
Well, you're
more
for
spending.
foreign aid, right?
Of course, 100%. But I don't like. I'm not American, so it's not like that personal for me, and I'm not from Africa. But if I
Excuse me.
like, if I would like focus on your idea, like what you said on internal aid, I think it's 100% more important for your country, and like it's widely accepted that it's like better for like the elections, for like having a healthy economy, healthy country, less drug addicts. The country looks better, but like this is something that's like is true, and Europeans like do it bigly, and you could do it too, like pretty easily. You still have money for it even with the foreign aid, but the problem is that I am guessing you're voting Trump, and you expect like something like this to happen, like some domestic aid. Like, why do you think ever like any Republican would care about this? Like, why would they care about it?
Yeah, I'm not under the assumption that either party cares about us. Now, I'll say I know politicians are politicians just for the money and power. With that said,
Okay.
if the politician helps Americans out, and he's obviously benefiting from that, from the power, but as long as he helps us out, I got to vote for that politician versus another politician that is just gonna screw America over while lining his pockets up. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
I
of
know
course.
neither party cares about us. They say what they say to get their votes, and
Wait, what
we
party?
had.
Sorry,
I'm sorry.
who cares about it? What party you said? Sorry.
I generally don't believe either party cares about the American people. They're just there to line their pockets. But again, if
Okay,
a politician doesn't help America out, even if they don't want to help America out, but they do help America out to stay in office, I got to vote for that guy. I know he doesn't care about us. He's just doing us that solid so he can stay in office. Versus a politician who doesn't care about us and doesn't help us, regardless of the reasons. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, I know exactly, but I don't know what exactly you're trying to say, because of course that's like the better thing. I mean, the thing is that the best thing is that a politician that is not corrupt and does both things, does things externally that help your country and are like morally good, like have like Christian values basically because your country is Christian, and at the same time
we're built on
does
Christian
domestic aid.
ideology.
What?
We're built on Christian ideology.
Yeah,
A lot of our laws are built on the Christian
exactly,
mainframe.
sure.
And let me just show him this real quick while I got it up, because I was able to find, this is from the railway department. I can tell you exactly who. Hold on. I got all the sources here. This is the Federal Railroad Administration, the FRA project sheets. This is California High-Speed Rail. Fiscal year 22 and 23 awarded $3.078 billion.
Okay.
And if you look here, multiple sources. I got to switch the screen that's sharing. Hold on. Multiple sources reporting that not a single, and if it was laid, we would know it. There's not been a single piece of track laid. I'm going to show you pictures, even.
Sure.
So
what are they doing with
this is
that
one.
money?
Cal Matters is one of the sources here, showing that they have not. 18 years after California voters approved the bullet train, progress and finances are still stalled, but they're still paying them. You saw in the other one, fiscal year 22 and 26, 23 and 24, whatever. Recently, we gave them another $3 billion. So if that's not fraud, what is it then? Why didn't they, after 5 years, say, hey, we're not giving you any more money, you haven't built anything? They just keep paying?
Sure. Yeah, so there is multiple things. it's a little bit more complicated, but if you talk about high-speed rail, which is, I don't know, it's like above 170 or 180 kilometers per hour. I don't know how much miles per hour that is. But this type of rail, it's one of the most expensive infrastructure project that a country can like do, besides like huge tunnels for kilometers. And having just like the foundations for where the like rail is going to be for one part of it is going to cost you billions and billions
Dude,
of
they
dollars.
haven't done anything.
Can you say the number? How much? I mean, I'm looking at a picture that like that's.
There's no rail down. They built a bridge. That's it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, they don't have the like rail put in, but if they're just like making space for it in like your huge ass country with like a lot of hills and a lot
It's
of.
only
Like,
California. I'm just saying. So you're making excuses for them, dude.
No. Yeah, sure. It is an excuse because they need to be excused. This is one of the most expensive infrastructure projects you can undertake. How much money did?
So how long do we have to let them go before we're like, all right, we're not giving you any more money? Forever?
For example, if I give you example from Germany, to build the whole infrastructure with high-speed rail and normal speed rail and like combined it into one and also connected with other countries, which means states in your country, that takes 30 years, 50, 40 years. That's like a project for half a decade. It's not, of course, if they're like building one rail from San Francisco to LA for like 30 years, that's a scam, and or like someone is insanely incompetent. But if it's like they're building like from San Diego here, from here, connecting the whole like state, it could cost tens of billions, maybe even hundreds, I'm not sure. It could cost hundreds of billions, and it would take like 20, 30 years. Like you can just look up on history of projects, except China, because China is building like without any like safety laws. They can like put like 100,000 people to start building.
What about Dubai?
Yeah, sure. Dubai is also out there, like they have a dictator.
We
right?
Could build, bro. We could build.
Yeah, if you had a dictator,
they're stealing that money, and if they're stealing money right here in front of us, and we could point to other. What about the fraud in Minnesota, where the people got arrested? That feed your families fraud. They're doing it here.
Sure,
so to assume that they wouldn't do it overseas is really dumb. When they're further away,
sure.
The further away they are.
You're moving like yourself, but like you're saying a lot of things that are not true or like are completely like somewhere else, and we are focusing on one thing. Let's just finish the rail, okay? If you have like a country which is building like high-speed rail, it's gonna take you a while, all right? Do you agree or not?
We just said that Dubai can build its entire city in that amount of time.
Okay, sure. Let's move to Dubai if you want. Okay, Dubai is.
But why can they do it and we can't do it?
I can explain it to you if you stop interrupting, because I know you know that
question.
You know that I know the answer, and it's gonna be embarrassing. Dubai, yeah, it is, because I'm like 23 and I'm like no
That's
more
not
about
at all
like
correct.
rail building. But it's because it's not even that I'm smart. I just watch like few YouTube videos and read like few articles in like my country's news. That's it. And I will explain it to you. In Dubai, if you build anything, and the difference between the US or like Europe is that the one of the hardest part and one of the also expensive parts of like building any infrastructure is to get the fucking land for it. You have to buy up each pieces of the land where you need to build like hundreds of kilometers or like miles of like rail or road or tunnel or whatever, or like a lake. You need to buy each pieces of the land from like, let's say, hundreds to thousands of people, which are either like want a higher price or don't want to sell at all, or like you need to like use like special laws which you can take their like land for it, which can take literally years. Just this part can take
10,
like
12
10 years. Yeah, and that makes sense because like California, probably the land costs millions and millions of dollars.
Well, it doesn't make sense to me. That's what I'm saying.
That's sure, because you never like read anything about this industry and how it works. But
I've only lived here my entire life.
Sure. Let me just finish this. If you build highways, it's the same thing. You need to get a lot of pieces of the land. There's a lot of, just in this process alone, you can spend many, like 5 years, no problem. Then you come to another part. You need to do all the planning, which can take also a few years. You need to do the planning of how it's going to look like, where it's going to, how it's going to work.
But you're not, you're just saying this could take a few years, this could take a few years, so we're good. Like that's not correct. That's incorrect. They could have laid one piece of track. It's the same thing with the homeless. Like we give them billions of dollars. They don't fix anything. It doesn't get better at all. Not at all. Like there's more homeless people. That means you need to adjust your strategy. Like we need to hire a different company to build the rail then. We need to hire a different company to finish the homeless situation. Like hire somebody else because these people are failing.
Hey,
I
Fitz,
understand
man.
what
I
you're
got to
saying.
cut out. You can come back. I got to cut out. I got something else I got to do. I
Yeah, I
appreciate
think you know
Cookie.
you're wrong. I think you know you're wrong.
Yeah, well, you haven't, I'm sitting
Like,
here waiting for
in-
evidence for
give
an
me-
hour. I stayed on
okay,
because you haven't provided
okay.
any evidence. You're just
Give me
telling me
one
I
sentence,
this could
one
take a long
sentence.
time. This could take a long time. This could take a long time. It doesn't mean anything, bro. I
One
know it could
sentence,
take a
one
long time,
sentence.
but what I'm saying is that we're
It does,
giving them money and
always.
we're not getting anything in return. That's
Your
what I'm saying.
okay, one sentence. Your only example when it doesn't take a long time is Dubai, where they can literally kill people when they don't listen to them. They can put them in prison. They will take anything. They're in the middle of desert. They have like few big cities.
That's
and
the
no
only way
villages,
something
no,
doesn't take a
no
long time.
farmland. No, yeah, exactly.
That's
Because
the
in
only way.
look
People
in
can't just do
Germany.
things efficiently.
You're a fucking stupid dog. Look in Germany or the UK. Everything takes like dozens of decades or like decades.
Yeah,
Because
that
you need-
doesn't mean
in
they're
a-
doing it
In a
right.
democracy, in a country with the laws, it takes a lot of years. But look at their infrastructure now, and look at your infrastructure, because you don't invest enough. If you invested same as Europe, you would already have high-speed rails. You would already have whatever
Yeah,
you want.
again, you're just saying that, but you don't actually
Yeah,
have
I'm
any
saying
proof
that.
that
But
it's
if you look at
true.
reality, if you ever travel out
Saying
of
that
your
it's
country,
reality isn't proof.
travel out of your country and
That's
read
not
something
proof.
about
That's
Europe.
just your own anecdotal evidence, your own experience.
Yeah, it's my experience in the whole of my
It's
continent.
not evidence.
European Union, or yeah, that's just
I'm
your,
saying you
like,
should
feelings.
learn what qualifies as evidence and how to make an argument, bro. Because you haven't
Yeah.
provided that. You just
Bro,
make
you didn't give
statements. You
one
just make
argument. You didn't give one
claims.
argument. You didn't
We're
give one
talking
argument.
about my evidence. I did make an argument. The
What did
argument
you,
is
no, you didn't.
I'll
No,
give it to you one more
your
time
argu-
so you could think
I will-
about
no,
it
I
and
will
then you could
explain
come back and we could talk
I
about
will
it
explain
later.
it. Your
The argument
argument-
is the national
You spent a
debt
lot
is a
of
national
money, and
security
you don't
issue,
get
an
a
existential.
rail in 5 years.
I'm giving you the argument. You said I didn't make one. I'm giving it to you.
Yeah, your argument is invalid. That's what I'm saying. You
Which
give
part?
them a lot of money. This part. You give them a lot of money and nothing gets built. But you
That's
have no
not the
idea about
argument.
how building of or infrastructure like works. Of course,
That's
you
a
think
sub argument of wasteful
if-
spending that needs to get cut. The actual argument is we're in an existential threat with the $40 trillion debt,
Sure.
and we need to cut as much as possible, or we're not going to exist. Have you ever been on an airplane where they say put the mask on yourself first and then you put it on the person
That's
next to you?
argument. This is
Have you
not
ever
the
done
argument.
that?
You can do both. You can do infrastructure.
What do they
rail.
tell you though? They tell you put it
You
on
can do
yourself
rail
first.
and
But
debt.
what
You
is
can
the
do rail
logic
and debt.
behind that?
On $40 trillion, your
What's the
country built
logic behind it?
$40 trillion in debt, which is like not even the
You
worst
know I
on,
got
on
you.
the planet. It's like in top 15 or something. And your country is the #1 largest and richest empire in the world. And you're complaining about it like your debt is something insanely bad.
It is
country
something
and
insanely bad. It's
every
$40
country has a
trillion.
debt. All rich countries in Europe almost are in debt, in high debt. But they're not even like 1%.
That doesn't make it a
rich.
good thing just because other people are doing it.
It does.
If everyone jumped off a bridge, your mom never told you that, would you jump off a bridge?
I mean, depends on if the argument was good enough. But if you
probably would.
I wouldn't do it because I know your argument is going to be shit because you didn't provide any like. This is why Destiny won the debate because he has like a worldview.
He has Google.
No,
because
you don't want me to like. You don't want me to finish because you know that it's like disgusting when you actually look at the whole like view from the like viewer because Destiny has like this worldview that he supports by data, by evidence, by logic.
He didn't
and
provide one piece of data.
He puts it all together while you think, oh, this bridge is built, is getting built for $5 billion and it's still not done. How is this possible?
I'm gonna make you before I go. I'm gonna show you something. Are you familiar with this building?
Oh come on! Like this.
What do
is
you mean? Oh come on! Are you familiar with this building?
Yeah, of course. It's a joke.
How? What do you mean it's a joke?
It's a joke in the whole world. Like in the building industry, it's a joke. Because
what does that mean?
Because they built this country, and do you know how like sewage worked for like years? The trucks had to go next to the building. You can Google this, by the way. The trucks came to the building. They took the shit for the day or for the week, and they had to drive away because this country, they needed to build like the #1 tourist attraction, like the highest building, you know, so they could like attract money and more people. By the way, they went in depth for this, if you want to know.
Do you know? Well, that was my next question. Do you know how much it cost? This is the tallest building in the world. Regardless of all that, I don't care about how it was built. What I'm saying is,
it was probably cheap. They didn't have even
how much
system, and they used slavery.
How much?
I would say like 5 to 15 billion, maybe.
1.5 billion.
Wow, yeah,
so they built this for 1.5 billion.
Yeah, they
and
use
our
slavery.
national debt is 40 trillion.
They use slavery. They
40
use slavery.
trillion. You're
They
up here
use
saying,
slavery.
oh, yeah, give money over here, give money over there. It's not your money, it's our money. And no, we're not the richest country in the world if we're in $40 trillion debt.
They use
We're
slavery.
not.
Please
We're
listen to
not.
me.
Just
They
'cause you
use
say it.
slavery. You
Huh?
can Google this. You can Google this. They're known for doing this.
It
And by the
doesn't
way,
matter. Even if it was
your-
15 billion, even
your
if they didn't
highest-
use slavery and it was your
your
number,
highest-
15 billion or 20 billion, we're 40 trillion.
Bro,
This building is only
your highest-
1.5 billion. It's the
okay,
biggest tallest building in the world.
Your tallest building costs just like 2 times more. It costs,
Okay, but even if it was
2.5.
3 billion instead of
And it had
1.5.
sewage system. It had sewage system. It was in the most like expensive part of the whole
Dude, you're
city
full of
like, the
excuses,
whole world.
man.
But I just gave you counter example. Like your argument doesn't make any sense. You
No,
said,
because
it's
even in
expensive.
your counter example,
It's
it's
not
still
expensive.
ridiculous. Even if I
It's
grant you the
2.5.
double, I'll grant you the amount of
2.5.
double. I'll grant it to you.
Okay.
Even if we take double the cost, it still shows how obnoxiously large our national
This-
debt is.
They
like
use
40 trillion.
slavery, bro.
So you don't get to tell us where to
Argue me,
spend the
argue
money.
me. You won't argue me. They use slavery, and they didn't have.
No,
even
I
a sewage
granted your
system.
more expensive building without the slavery. I granted that. I took the evaluation of doubling the cost. And I'm saying
Yeah.
even with that doubled cost, which eliminates that cheap labor,
And
even with that
sewage
double
system.
cost, it's
And
still,
most expensive land in the world instead of a desert, right? I mean, yeah, there's many
that's
things.
not, has nothing to do with the
I'm
cost of
saying
the
3
building.
things that just I know. There may be like 10 more. Then maybe didn't have enough. I know that half of the building wasn't even like it was empty. It was empty. It was just
So?
about making it as high as possible. Like you're giving this argument that makes zero sense. It's the same thing about the California Rail. There's zero proof.
Dude,
of
you
them
just don't
except
care if
it's
we
taking
burn all of our
long,
money.
it's
You just
taking
don't
long.
care. I do care. That's
I
the
do care.
difference.
I do care as well.
No, you just want America. It's not your money. You just want America to spend money all over the place, all
how-
over
how
the
is it
world.
not my money?
Serbia, Ukraine, Africa. Take some
How is
money.
it-
Take Latin America
Okay.
here. Take our money. Take our money. Go fuck
How
yourself.
is
No
it
more
not my
money.
money?
No
How is it
more
not my
money. No
I
more
think
money.
I-
Figure it
I
out.
invest. I invest.
Figure it out. We got to be like the parents. We're like the daddy.
Sure.
Like you're cut off. Figure it out without us. No more
Okay, but-
money.
Do you think you have any data on like your argument or not? Do you think so?
The data is that we're in $40 trillion debt. Do you not understand that?
Yeah, and you're still like far from the worst countries. Like,
Okay,
you have
but I
debt
didn't
that's,
make
like,
a claim
not
about
even-
that. Like we can judge. It's not a competition. We could judge our own debt ourselves. Like if you had a $40 trillion credit card bill, you're not going to give out money left and right, and neither are
Yeah,
we.
sure. If I was $40 billion in debt or trillion, and I didn't have anything, and I would be poor, and I would be a loser with no value.
That's right.
That's true. I would be a loser, but your country is the richest empire in the history of humanity, and the most
How do you
powerful.
figure if we're in $40 trillion debt? Just saying it doesn't make it true. If you have
How
more
is it not
debt than you have reserved
Wait.
income, you're
I
not.
love-
You're
okay,
not the
I
richest
like
country.
America more than
You're
you.
over leveraged. You don't
I'm
have
more
the
proud
capital.
of your country. That's not even mine. That's not even mine. I know that your country is powerful at least. You think your country is like this loser, in-depth.
No, I don't think that. I just don't think we're going to burn any more money overseas. Like we gave the whole world enough. You all hate us
Didn't,
now.
didn't.
Like you're like the you guys
The
are
world
like
gave you
children.
more.
You're just
The
like the
world gave you
child
more.
that when you get or the girlfriend and you give them a lot of money and then they expect it. And then when you
We do.
stop giving it to them, they're mad at you. They're like, "Hey, you owe us that." No, we don't fucking owe it to you. We don't owe it to you. We got to put our mask on ourselves first, and then we'll help you. Here's the
Yeah,
logic. If
sure,
we
I agree.
fail, we can't help anybody.
Yeah, I agree. Sure. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, that's the
And that-
logic, bro.
That's why
So
it's
I'm saying we're
important.
failing.
Yeah. That's why it's important to not cut your soft power, because the second let me.
That's
can I-
not why we're
Can you
failing.
give me 5 sentences of like what fucks you the fastest? You lose soft power around the world. People stop respecting you and want to cut you
Who
out of
cares?
their. Let me finish. They cut you out of their business. Your currency stops being the reserve currency of the whole world and the World Bank, and you get poor because you have no power and no one wants to do business with you. And having you have so little inflation because your USD is the world reserve currency. That's why your inflation is so low,
Yes,
because you
I'm
can
aware.
export it. You can export it, and you don't get any inflation in your country. If that's
We
not,
do get
you're
inflation
done.
in our
You're
country.
done.
We do. Every year
Yeah,
that we don't pay off our
Compare it
debt, we have to print
compare it
money.
to Germany. Compare it to Germany. It's zero. It's compared to Germany, France, to Czechia.
Yeah, Europe is
Poland.
much further along. That's why we should look to their example and not do what they did.
But Europe is less in debt than America. Like it doesn't make any sense. Your
Yeah,
argument
but
doesn't
you're
make any
having a
sense.
whole demo. Listen, we got to get into this next time. I can't get
Sure,
into
sure,
all
sure.
of Europe.
Sure, I got you.
But what I'm saying is that, and you agreed with my logic there at the end. We can't help
Yeah.
anybody. I think that we have an existential
Sure.
threat that is not soft power. That's not soft power
Sure,
by
sure.
definition is not the most existential thing we spend
I
money
agree,
on.
I
That's why it's
agree, I
called
agree.
soft power.
I
Like-
agree. Your existential crisis is stop being the if you stop being the world empire, that's your crisis. That's the end
Why?
of the country.
Why?
Because you have no leverage and the money stops flowing.
We
and
have
it's like
leverage.
the money that flows to Facebook.
That was
that
never
flows to
our
here,
leverage. That's never been our leverage. Our leverage is our military power. That's our leverage.
If you think that, I mean, yeah, it's true. But if you think that's the only part, like, if you don't think like
You
the
just
huge-
said, yeah, it's
your
true, but you
business,
still
your
want
banks-
to argue, bro. You just
No,
want to
it's
argue
true.
with me.
It's not. It's true, but it's not the whole thing. Like if it's the 50% of like your power comes from your army, and then 50% comes from the banks, the businesses, the huge like internet companies, like tech companies, which is one of the strongest parts of America, like in foreign countries.
And my battery's dying. On that note, dude, listen,
Okay,
come back.
alright.
We're gonna get at Kraut. Thank you for being here, bro.
Yeah, thanks for
I
having
gotta
me.
go. My battery's dying. I got shit I gotta do. I appreciate you, man. You can come back. Subscribe to the
Sure.
channel.
I
I'll
was
talk to
gonna-
you directly.
I wanted to ask one question, if
ahead.
I can.
Yep. You've been waiting.
Born, if you're $100 in debt, you owe the bank $100, and
Uh-huh.
and somebody asks you for 50, are you going to give them $50?
I mean, if I make money back on it, sure.
No. You're $100 in debt, but somebody wants 50 from you. Do you give them the 50?
If it gives me zero like profit in the future, yeah, I won't give them money.
All right. Well, that's speculation right there. But
It's all speculation.
I
Yeah,
destroyed your
yeah.
argument, and you know it.
no, you didn't. But
It's
yeah,
not
Chris, I know you gotta
Speculate
go.
your way to winning an argument.
You
Yeah.
get money back from your investment
No, that's
in abroad.
that's speculation. You don't always get money back from.
Not
from
always. Not
It's
always.
not investment. It's literally giving money. It's not investment.
Yeah, it's
even
giving
if it
money,
was,
but you
it's
get something back for
speculation.
it. You get safer
Hey,
planet.
Fist, again, thanks for having me, bro.
You got it, bro. I'm out of here.
See
Catch you guys later. Thanks, bro. I appreciate you, man. Take care, guys.